Nobody's coming to your party. Grow up. That's what my mom wrote in the family group chat, on my birthday. I replied with one word, understood. That same day, I stopped the $2,500 rent payment I'd been sending them. Next morning, I took back the car they'd used for 2 years. Then I canceled every credit card in their name. Not out of spite. But because I finally stopped being who they wanted me to be. What followed was total silence. And not the confused kind. It was that thick, eerie stillness when people realize something has really, finally ended. This wasn't a stunt. Wasn't me throwing a fit. This was the last chapter closing for good. They didn't think I'd actually do it. They assumed, like always, I'd blow off some steam, pout a little, then go back to normal. But this time wasn't about being dramatic. It was the final straw. This wasn't the first hit, it was the last. The period at the end of a long, humiliating sentence. I was never truly their son. Just a resource. A walking ATM with a familiar face they could conveniently pretend didn't exist unless they needed something. I'm 28 now. I rent a small place in southwest Denver. I work IT support for a company that makes software for hospitals. It's not flashy, but it pays the bills. And honestly, I thought maybe, just maybe, we'd finally gotten past the worst. I really believed we'd made peace. That maybe I'd earned a seat at the table. But they weren't looking for proof I cared. They just wanted me to stay quiet. And grateful. Grateful that I was still allowed to be in the same orbit as something they had the nerve to keep calling family. What hit me the hardest wasn't even the message. It was the way everyone else acted like it was totally normal. My aunt hit it with a heart emoji. My sister responded with a cake emoji. And my dad? He forwarded some meme of a clown with the caption, "Guess who's turning 12 again?" Not a single person asked if I was okay. Not one even said happy birthday. I sat there in my dark apartment, phone in hand, and the weirdest part. I wasn't even hurt anymore. I was just floored that I had let it drag on for as long as I did. I've been covering their rent since I was 24. Not because I had money to throw around. Not because they asked nicely. But because they made it sound like I had no choice. It's just for a little while. You're the only one who's stable right now. We gave you everything, now it's your turn. That little while turned into 4 years. Every month, same routine. Rent. Groceries. Gas. Internet. Repairs. I paid for all of it. Even took care of the vet bills for their cat. Not to be generous, but because if I didn't, I'd get guilt-tripped later anyway. And when I didn't move fast enough, I'd get hit with those passive-aggressive group chat messages. Power's about to get shut off again. Mom's back is killing her. Don't know how we'll move without help. Haley's car broke down, she really needs to get to work. Can you help her out? That last one. Haley's car. I bought it. She still drives it. Still uploads selfies from the driver's seat. One had the caption, "Grateful for people who really have my back." Didn't even tag me. Haley's my little sister, by the way. She's 25. No job. But somehow, always off on some trip. My parents say she's just finding her way. Yeah, well, she's been finding her way through my bank account for years. Once, I asked my dad why Haley never chipped in. He said, "She's not like you. She's not built for pressure. You are." That one really stuck with me. Because yeah, I was built for pressure. They made sure of it. But even pressure has a breaking point. Last Thanksgiving, I drove 5 hours to surprise them. I brought groceries, a pie, even a nice bottle of wine. I knocked, thinking maybe I'd get a smile. Maybe a, "Hey, good to see you." Instead, my mom opened the door, blinked, and said, "Oh, you came." Then she shouted over her shoulder, "Haley, tell Tyler to hide the gifts, your brother's here." I asked, "Who's Tyler?" She laughed. "Haley's boyfriend. They've been staying here for a bit. Tyler had my old room. I got the couch." That night at dinner, my dad raised his glass and gave a toast. He lifted his glass and said, "Cheers to the guy who covers all the bills but can't seem to keep a girlfriend." Everyone laughed. Even Haley. Especially Haley. I didn't say a word. Just took a slow sip of my wine. Then I helped with the dishes. After that, I paid the plumber when the sink clogged. Because, that's what family's supposed to do, right? A few weeks later, I saw a picture Haley posted, her and Tyler in front of a cozy mountain cabin. The caption? "Family trip." Yeah. I wasn't invited. Didn't even know they'd gone. I only found out when a coworker, not even someone I'm that close with, asked, "Hey, wasn't that your sister on the Explore page? Looks like they had a good time." So I pulled up the post. There they were, Mom, Dad, Haley, and Tyler, all smiles, wearing matching beanies. Each of them holding mugs. I zoomed in on the one Haley had. It was custom printed. It read, "Best daughter ever." They didn't call. Didn't text. Not even a single message while they were gone. Then, the week they got back, I got an email from my landlord. Just a reminder, rent's due tomorrow. Turns out they skipped last month's payment. And didn't think to tell me. I guess they figured I'd notice. And cover it. Like always. So I did. I paid it. All of it. Because I always do. But I wasn't going to forget this one. And then it got worse. One afternoon, while I was working remotely from home, my phone started buzzing like crazy. The family group chat was lighting up. At first, I thought someone had passed away. Nope. My dad had posted a screenshot of my Amazon wishlist. His caption: "Check out this grown man asking for socks and shampoo for his birthday. Guess we didn't raise him tough enough." Then came more. "Can't even buy his own lotion," he added. My cousin Brooke jumped in. "Uncle Dennis sent a picture of toilet paper. Here you go, champ." Then Haley tossed in her piece, "He probably expects us to gift wrap this, too." I just stared at the screen. Not because it hurt. But because, honestly, I saw it coming. They weren't even trying to hide it anymore. They just assumed I'd never stand up for myself. So I didn't. Not yet. Instead, I started gathering. Screenshots. Texts. Emails. Anything that could be used as proof. Of the rent payments. The bills I covered. The lies. The times they used my name on applications without telling me. Even the moment I accidentally discovered my mom had used my credit to open a Target card. When I confronted her, she brushed it off. "It's not a big deal. You weren't using it." When I told her what she did was illegal, she snapped back. "Don't threaten me, Mr. IT man. You'd be nothing without this family." Then, just when I thought it couldn't get lower, I found out Haley had told her friends I was on the spectrum. It wasn't true. But believable enough for people to repeat it. She said it made me easier to explain. Still, I said nothing. I paid my bills. I showed up to work. I smiled through it all. But I was building something behind the scenes. Quietly. They didn't have a clue. Because when you build in silence, your explosion becomes their earthquake. And that earthquake hit on my birthday. 2 weeks after that group chat mess. After the family vacation I never got invited to. After they left me to deal with the rent. That's when they had the nerve to reach out. Haley texted first. "Hey, Mom says come by tonight. Family dinner." I left her on read. 10 minutes later, my dad called. "Don't make this harder than it needs to be. We're trying to move forward." That was their favorite phrase. Move forward. Which basically meant, forget everything we did to you. This time, I told him I'd come. But I didn't go alone. I showed up at the house, the one I helped repaint. The one with the fridge I paid for. Right on time. I walked in with my laptop bag over my shoulder and a backup drive in my jacket pocket. Mom greeted me with a hug, like nothing had ever happened. Dad handed me a beer. Haley gave me that smug look, like she'd already won something. I sat down. Let them talk. They rambled on about healing. About forgiveness. And how me canceling the rent payment and freezing the credit cards was lashing out. Then Mom said the line that cracked it all wide open. "You're still part of this family, but you've made your share of mistakes, too." I took a deep breath. Reached into my bag. Pulled out my laptop. Set it on the table and opened a folder I'd labeled Truth. Dad gave a dry laugh. "What's this? Homework?" I didn't answer. I just hit play. First audio clip. I played that old voicemail from my mom, one she'd left last year. Her voice was full of rage, yelling at me to grow up and cover my sister's tuition before she ended up like me. Then I hit play on the second recording. Haley's voice came through the speaker, smug and dismissive. "He's always been weird. Just let him pay. It makes him feel important." Next came the evidence. Screenshots of money transfers. Bills. Group chats. And those Instagram stories, Haley showing off, flaunting the fact that she was spending my money like it was her own. I turned the screen toward them. They leaned in to get a better look. And just like that, they froze. I stood up, calm as ever, walked to the kitchen, grabbed a USB drive, and came back. Without saying a word, I plugged it into the smart TV. The screen went black for a second, then lit up with a screenshot of a loan application. Dad's name sat at the top as the primary borrower. And there, right below it, was mine. Listed as cosigner. No signature. No permission. I looked him dead in the eyes. "You used my social security number. You didn't ask. You just threw me onto your debt like it was nothing." He opened his mouth, probably to explain, or lie. I didn't let him. I raised my hand. "It's already reported. Your account's been frozen. Fraud investigations underway. You'll get the official letter next week." Mom gasped like she'd just watched someone get shot. "Haley?" She laughed. "Oh wow, you're seriously doing this? God, you're such a drama queen." Then she smirked. "What now? You gonna sue us or something?" I smiled. "Not me. But he might." Right then, the doorbell rang. I walked over, opened the door, and in stepped Nolan, Haley's ex. The one she lied about. The one she accused of assaulting her. The one she nearly destroyed. He walked in holding a black folder and took a seat across from her. "You want to explain? Or should I?" he asked, calm but sharp. Haley's face lost all color. "What are you doing here?" He opened the folder slowly. Inside, printed screenshots of fake messages. Messages Haley made to frame him. A page of handwritten notes on how to manipulate him emotionally before breaking things off. A transcript of voice memos she'd edited to sound like he was screaming. Mom started crying. Dad just stared at the wall, saying nothing. Haley stood up and barked, "You two are out of your minds. This is harassment." Nolan cut her off. "You're not some victim here. You're the one who created this mess. And I'm done covering for you." He stood and walked out. I followed him to the door. Before stepping out, I turned back and said the last thing I'd ever say in that house. You all wanted me to play a part, be the good son, the quiet wallet. But now, I'm the one holding the pen. I'm writing the story now. Then I picked up my laptop, grabbed the hard drive, and left. Behind me, the chaos erupted. Mom yelling Haley's name like that would fix anything. Dad shouting after me, demanding I come back and make things right. Haley screaming and throwing something, maybe a glass. I didn't look. Because once you blow up a lie with the truth, you don't turn around to admire the ashes. The next morning, I uploaded everything. Not just clips. Not just texts. The entire archive. One post. Title: When Family Treats You Like an ATM with a Heartbeat. Inside that single link, every bank transfer. That illegal loan with my forged cosign. Haley's fake texts, her edited audio, her step-by-step breakup plan. Mom's angry voicemail, telling me to man up and pay her daughter's tuition. Dad's Thanksgiving joke about how I might not be able to keep a girlfriend, but hey, at least I keep the lights on. I didn't write some emotional sob story. I didn't beg for pity. I laid out the facts. I posted receipts. And at the very end, I added just one line. I'm not mad. I'm not heartbroken. I'm just done pretending this is what family is supposed to be. Then I hit post and turned off my phone. By lunchtime, the post had already taken off. It didn't go Hollywood viral, but it spread fast enough to burn bridges. Thousands of shares. Hundreds of comments. Some were from total strangers. This is exactly what happened to me. My family did the same. You're not alone, man. These receipts are insane. Go off, King. Others? They were from people I actually knew. Folks from school. Mutual friends. One guy from high school wrote, "I always got a weird vibe from your sister." This explains a lot. I didn't reply. I let the post live its own life. By 3 p.m., my aunt, the same one who reacted with a heart emoji to Mom's birthday post where she insulted me, made a status of her own. Family matters should stay private. Don't air your laundry online. 0 likes. Haley. She posted a black square on Instagram. Caption: Betrayal hurts worst when it's from someone you once fed. I almost laughed. Then came the real kicker. Dad went live. On Facebook. Yes. Live. He sat there in the garage, the same one I helped him fix the roof on, and started talking into his phone. His voice was unsteady, like he wasn't sure whether to cry or pretend he was okay. My son's been manipulated, he said. He's emotionally unstable. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Right behind him. A pile of crushed beer cans stacked like trophies. Then he shifted gears and started talking about forgiveness. That families mess up sometimes. That he hoped we could move past this and heal. I glanced at the comments under his video. One caught my eye. His old golfing buddy chimed in, asking, "Didn't you once say your kid forged your signature?" Dad hit like. That was his biggest mistake. Because what he didn't know was, I had proof. A video from 3 years back. There he was, sitting on the couch, beer in hand, talking to Haley. Clear as day, he said, "It's fine." I used his social. He won't notice. And even if he does, he owes us. He wouldn't even be alive without us. I posted that video in the comments. No caption, just the date stamped right on it. Then I logged off again. But I wasn't just watching the fallout unfold. Behind the scenes, I was building something. That same week, I launched a YouTube channel. Just one video to start. Straight to camera. Titled, When Helping Turns into Enabling. No names. No direct callouts. Just me, talking. Calm voice. Firm message. You can love someone and still walk away. You can give everything and still be taken for granted. And when someone finally shows you who they really are, believe them. The video blew up. 400,000 views in 3 days. A podcast for adult children of narcissistic families reached out. Wanted me to speak. I said yes. Then another podcast messaged me. Then another. And then, a publisher. I wasn't trying to go viral. I wasn't chasing likes or trying to become some influencer. But the truth? People were starving for someone to say the things they'd been too scared to admit. Out loud. In public. My mom made one last attempt to guilt me. She sent me a photo of a letter from the mortgage company. The house was behind on payments. Under review. Her message said, "I hope you're proud of yourself." They were about to lose the house. I didn't reply with words. I sent back a screenshot, her name linked to every single dollar I'd sent them over the past 3 years. $87,000. Caption. You took it. Not me. She didn't say anything. Just left me on read. 3 hours later, I got a text from an unknown number. It was Haley. One line. I hope you never have kids. You'd be a terrible father. I actually smiled when I read it, not because it was funny, but because it was pathetic. They were flailing, rage, guilt, cheap insults. Trying every angle except the one that mattered, owning what they'd done. And none of it worked. The best part? I moved. Quietly. No big announcement. No Instagram story. Downtown condo. 10th floor. Bought through a trust, under a different name. Fully paid off. Clean slate. New view. New number. And the sweetest silence I'd ever known. They tried calling. Tried asking around. Tried using distant relatives to find out where I went. But I was gone. Not just from their lives, but from the whole idea that I owed them anything. Not my money. Not my time. Not even a "seen" on their messages. A month later, I changed my number. Not because I was scared, but because I was bored. Tired of voicemail guilt trips. Tired of Haley's vague Instagram posts about toxic siblings. Tired of Dad's drunk emails that started with, "You don't know how hard it was for me," and ended with, "We should monetize this." They weren't trying to make peace. They were trying to rewrite the story. But I already owned the ending. I had drained the narrative dry, then buried it deep. They just didn't realize the funeral already happened. I didn't just vanish. I leveled up. That condo. 10 floors above the noise. Sleek. Clean. Cold in the exact ways I needed it to be. Tall ceilings. Quiet neighbors who mind their business. No photos on the fridge. No family portraits on the walls. No, just in case, spare key under the mat. And I never told a soul where I lived. Not even my closest friends. Because this part, this peace, this silence, this wholeness, it wasn't something I wanted to show off. It was something I fought for. I furnished it slow. One chair. One table. A few dishes. Each thing I brought in. Paid in full. No debt. No pressure. No clutter. Just space to breathe. I didn't need anyone's permission anymore. I still remember that first night, standing barefoot in the middle of my new living room, cool tile under my feet, coffee mug in hand. I'd made it myself, right there in my kitchen, using the machine I bought. And then it hit me, nobody was going to scream at me here. Nobody was going to guilt me into paying for something or scold me for not doing enough. No one was going to ask for rides or beg for, just a little help, again this month. There were no family group chats. No fake birthdays I was expected to pretend mattered. No memes behind my back. Just stillness. And peace. Real, earned silence. I started working full-time for myself. The business had been just a side hustle for years, quiet, under the radar, something I barely talked about. But after I blew the lid off everything, that little project became something more. It turned into a signal. I called it Uncaged Consulting. Named after the only word I sent my mom on my birthday. I built the site in one long night. Made the logo myself. Locked down the domain. Filed the trademark paperwork. It wasn't some big statement. It was a promise, to never again ask for permission just to exist. Now I work with people trying to escape the same emotional cages I grew up in. I talk. I listen. I coach. But I keep my personal life locked down tight. Because my life isn't some reality show for my family to watch and twist into whatever suits them. It's not some redemption arc they get to hijack. It's a fortress, motion sensors, locked gates, and all. And I sleep better now than I ever did before. About 3 weeks after I moved in, I checked my P.O. box and found a manila envelope. Inside, a letter from my mom. Written in red ink on floral paper, her cursive slanted like always. It started off with, "You used to be our sweet boy. I don't recognize this bitter man." Then she went on, "Yes, we made mistakes. But airing them like that? You humiliated us. You ruined us." Then came the classic guilt punch, "Maybe one day you'll understand how hard it was for us. Maybe one day, you'll grow up." She finished with, "I'm praying for you." I didn't yell. Didn't cry. Didn't even feel much of anything. I just flipped the letter over, grabbed a Sharpie, and wrote 3 words. "Keep your prayers." Then tossed the whole thing in the trash. 2 days later, Dad emailed me. Subject line. Idea. The email said, "What if we went on Dr. Phil? You tell your side, I tell mine. We make peace. Audiences eat that stuff up. Could be great for both your business and mine." Attached to the email, a photo of me as a little kid, 5 years old, crying at Chuck E. Cheese, while he grinned into the camera holding a beer. I stared at that picture for a long time. Not because I missed anything. But because it reminded me of exactly who they still were. They didn't want peace. They wanted a spotlight. That same night, I uploaded a new video to my channel. No music. No flashy edits. Just me, speaking plainly. They keep asking if I'll make peace. If I'll come back. If I'll forgive. But peace doesn't mean pretending it didn't happen. It doesn't mean excusing abuse because someone had a rough childhood. It doesn't mean sitting at the same table that used to feed you shame. Real peace? It means absence, of chaos, of guilt, of them. I'm not your son anymore. I'm the consequence. That video hit 2 million views in under a week. One afternoon, as I was leaving the office, I noticed a couple standing outside, staring at the logo on the glass door. I paused. The woman looked up at me and asked, "Are you him? From the story?" I nodded. She just said, "Thank you. I didn't think people like you existed." That one moment, those few words, meant more than all the birthdays I ever begged my family to remember. Because I didn't need their applause anymore. There are people all over the world who've been lied to, manipulated, and gaslit by people who claimed to love them. And now? Now I'm living proof that you can walk away and still build something real. Something solid. I haven't talked to my family in over a year. And I don't plan to. They still post online. Still drop hints. Still try to twist the narrative. I let them. Because you don't argue with ghosts. You just stop letting them live rent-free in your head. And sometimes, late at night, I pass by the mirror in my hallway. I catch a glimpse of myself, older, yeah. But not bitter. Just free. Because I didn't just escape a toxic family. I outgrew them. And there's no coming back from that. Not ever. The plaque still hangs in my office. Clean, brushed steel. Perfectly mounted. We don't rebuild what broke you. We build what frees you. And right beneath it, a smaller, custom-made sign I ordered just last week. Guess who's not turning 12 again? Every time I see it, I smile. Because this year, the party's mine. And no one who left me out gets an invitation.